Hey and welcome, I'm Hammeh. We've got some Halloween Overwatch news for you today. It looks as though that we've got a bit of confirmation on what the possible skins might be, as well as a leak of the actual comic due next week. So sources for this: before the weekend, crates were seen on the Xbox store pointing to Halloween. Also, alongside that, Dark Horse Comics, who have done a deal with Blizzard. They've got the Overwatch comics, they're going to be publishing the graphic novel First Strike. Subscribers to Dark Horse were notified by email of an upcoming issue 9 of comic, apparently dropping next Wednesday. So pulling that all together, today it seems as though that the Portuguese version of the Overwatch Halloween comic is leaked. This may confirm skins. It's a real fun story. I'm going to run through all of it right now. First things first, those of you who want to see the skins. In this picture we see the Overwatch cast gathering for a Halloween party. Now throughout the comic we see several different skins. I'm going to quickly summarise those now before going through the story from my rough Google Translate. So for you skin fans, hold on in. We've got what looks like an Admiral Reinhardt, which is pretty cool. I think that's a Lost Viking Torb, like Olaf from the Lost Vikings. Witch Mercy, well, everyone's excited for Witch Mercy. And of course we've seen the Lost Viking or Viking style Torb and Witch Mercy in this image from Recall, that's also in the dropships in Overwatch, where Winston's looking at his photos before he goes into his flashback. So those have been teased for a while. I'll be very, very surprised if we don't see both of those coming up. Now, I think this is Ana Amari, Pirate Ana. You can't really see her from this angle, but when they're sitting at the table here, it looks as though it's more like her. Morrison is, of course, the Spirit of 76. That's, of course, an existing skin. We then have Dr. Junkenstein, who's the main hero or anti-hero, protagonist, shall we say, of the story. Frankenhog, the creation that he brings to life. And then also, at the very end, a Jack-O-Lantern, Reaper, or Gabriel Reyes. So if you count all of those together, there's at least 6 or 7 skins, maybe 8, if they all make it in. So that looks really cool. Really can't wait to see what we're going to get. As for when these are going to drop, I would imagine now, given that it's the weekend, Overwatch patches generally drop on Tuesdays. If the comic is due Wednesday, I would very much expect that all of this is going to probably release, I think, on the 11th, Tuesday 11th of November. Right, now quick summary of the story. I'm no Portuguese or Portuguese-Spanish master, so if this is your native language, please do jump in and correct any of this. The story is that the Overwatch team is celebrating Halloween. First up, we see Reinhardt mocking McCree for his children's fairy tale of a story, and after that he says he'll tell a real scary story. In the heart of the Black Forest there was a town called Aldersbrunne, a city that's been hit by a terrible curse. The Lord apparently, well, it's Lord Reinhardt, was a very beautiful and majestic ruler. Well, Reinhardt's telling the story. And fair, but apparently he wasn't massively enamoured with someone who lived there, a certain Dr. Jameson Junkenstein. Sounds familiar. Junkenstein showed the Lord all of his inventions, and the Lord treated them as apparently slaves or trifles, didn't take them too seriously, so Junkenstein vowed that one day he wouldn't stand for this abuse anymore and he'd win respect by creating a creature who could think for itself. But no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't unveil the mystery of life, trying to bring to life this creature who looks suspiciously like Roadhog, shall we say. One day he was actually going to give up, but a witch and the witch's dark servant visited him and admired his work and offered him the spark of life in return for punch? Reinhardt needs a moment to drink. Continuing with the story, Reinhardt says that the witch will in return ask Junkenstein for a favour one day. No matter what it is, he has to honour it. The creature comes to life, decides not to be a slave anymore, and the doctor apparently couldn't stop it, neither did he want to. He wanted to see those who abused him begging for their lives. If I've translated that correctly, that's pretty dark. As we reach the pinnacle of the story, Reinhardt then says that area has always been haunted, it's always had a funny vibe about it forever since, and then suddenly there's a knocking at the door, big hooded monster bursts in, and it's Reyes as Jack-O-Lantern Reaper. To sign off the end of the comic, Mercy says, ever thought about making our real uniforms? You've got a certain touch, a certain flair for it. And Reyes says, maybe one day, as everyone is kind of in a mess around him. Cool, there we go, quick summary of the news. It's a fun story, I really like it. A little bit of a spoiler for next week, that is the full comic, but obviously it'll be good to see it in English. What do you think of those potential skins? Are you looking forward to Overwatch Halloween as an event? Do let me know in the comments. Cheers for tuning into that quick news update. Do check out my longer hero lore, voice lines and interactions, Overwatch Lore and Universe, gameplay guides, so many more Overwatch videos on this channel, as well as other games too. Links are here. Cheers for tuning in. Do like, subscribe and comment if this was for you, and let me know what you think in the comments. I've been Hammeh, take it easy.